That is not something I argued.
No, I didn't say that, actually.
And I never said that. I did not say that. And I never said anything really about transsexual people, about their existence, although that was the first thing that I was accused of doing. I didn't say that transsexual people didn't exist.
You have said that you don't believe there is enough evidence that non-binary gender identities even exist.
No, I didn't say that, actually. You know, if I'm going to be accused of saying things, I have to be accused of exactly what I said. The mere fact that I don't want to use pronouns that someone else has decided I should use doesn't mean that I don't believe transgender people exist. It also doesn't make me a bigot, regardless of how hard people try to push me into that corner. And I'm not a bigot.
Well, I think that is
not the same thing
a lot of people,
as me saying that people who don't fit neatly into binary gender categories don't exist. I've never said that, and I don't believe that. But that's what I'm being accused of saying. But I'm not going to defend myself against the charge of making statements that I didn't make. I never said that people who have a non-binary gender identification don't exist.
In one of his lectures, Peterson includes various disparaging comments about members of the trans community. He argues that there is no evidence to support the existence of non-binary identities. That is not something I argued, by the way. People confused that with me saying that there were no such thing as, say, non-binary people or transgender people, and I never said that. The letter also said, I do not accept that gender identification can be independent of biological sex. The U of T said that was discriminatory as well. I did not say that. His disbelief in the very existence of non-binary people. Okay, so the first thing I would say is that I do not regard any of those three statements about what I said as accurate representations of what I said. But I don't have time at the moment to do a detailed refutation of them point by point, so I'm going to have to make this very straightforward and simple. I don't disbelieve in the existence of non-binary people. Okay, do you want me to say that again? Obviously, people who don't fit into standard binary categories of sexual identity, however you decide to construe that, broadly or narrowly, obviously those people exist. I never said they didn't exist.
Jordan Peterson never said that?
I don't know what the options are if you're not a man or a woman. It's not obvious to me how you can be both, because those are, by definition, binary categories. There's an idea that there's a gender spectrum, but I don't think that that's a valid idea. I don't think there's any evidence for it. Biological sexuality is ancient. It's hundreds of millions of years old. And it's binary because there's two forms of biological sex. Now, of course, this is predicated on the idea that your gender is somehow independent from your biological sex, but that's a proposition, not a fact. And even if it's true, even if it in some manner was determined to be true, it is certainly not determined to be true to that degree now, and certainly not to the degree that it should be instantiated in law. At most, it's an opinion, and I think it's an ill-informed opinion. I think it's a politically motivated and ill-informed opinion. I should also point out that the class of intersex is so rare to be virtually non-existent. I think it's nonsensical. I think the formulation is absurd. I think it has no scientific standing. I think it's ideologically motivated. I think it's divisive. I think it's dangerous. It causes chaos. It confuses people. There's no upside to it. And for every one person that this potential transformation of legislation is going to free from oppression, it's going to deathly confuse 100 more.
Jordan Peterson did say that. Jordan Peterson is a liar.
I did not say that.